Hey, what's up, guys? Donnie here, Big Drone Flyer 77. Hey, I'm back with the ZMT-10. This is a ZD Racing Thunder. So, if you guys seen my previous videos, you can see I tore this thing apart. I lost the front differential. My boy was driving it and got hung up and burnt out either the front differential, either that, or I went ahead and ordered a new slipper clutch slash gear, whatever you want to call it here, but it's kind of chewed up. You can kind of see it in the video a little bit. It's hard to get an angle, but you can kind of see as I turn it. You'll see this back side here that it's pretty chewed up. But you know, I went ahead and just ordered it anyway, so I'll just see how it does. I went ahead and mounted it in there, which was just taking 6 screws off, popping that off, a cover comes off, and then what you do is you just kind of pull this back a little bit and it pops right out. You just drop this drive line, this comes right out. So it's really easy. A lot of people told me it was kind of difficult to do and to redo this thing, but it's going together super easy. I didn't label anything. I kind of just threw all the parts in a bag, and it's pretty self-explanatory. As I start to put it back together, the front end here, all I got to do now is drop this front differential in there. I went ahead and put a new pinion gear in here. Went ahead and put a new differential in here. So see if I can get that. There we go. It's kind of hard to see in there, but I went ahead and put a new gear in it. So this will be going back in here like so. The old one's right here, which I didn't really see anything wrong with it, but who's to say inside? I did not tear it apart. Already had it, so I'm just gonna try it, guys. You know, if that don't work, then you know, it's got to work because the front one's the ones that's not spinning. But the only last thing I'd have to do if it doesn't work is to pull this rear differential off and replace it, and that's it. You know, I got a spare pinion gear here for the back one, so if it does go out, I got a spare gear. I'll be ready for that one, and then all I'd have to do is order another differential, which is only I think $5.99, which ain't no big deal. So that's in there. So all right, guys, I didn't do no step by step because it's long, not really long. It's just boring. It only took me but maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes just to kind of slap this thing back together, and that's just undoing 2 Allens right here, and then this slides out. This pops loose when I had this piece off, so which is just these 4 bolts right here. These 4 bolts right here, or screws, excuse me. This pops off, and then this just splits open like that. See, and then I went ahead and put a you know, the new differential, and then the new pinion gear in there. So that's all I did there. So I'll be slapping this back together here, guys, and then I'm going to go and mount it back onto the truck. So stay tuned. Alright, guys, I just lifted up the drive line here, slid this differential housing right up underneath here. So now we got the drive line hooked up, the rear to the slipper clutch here, and then to the front differential. So now it's all about popping in all these screws, guys. So I'll start getting all these screws in there, and then should be pretty fast after that. You know, and it's just popping on the front axles and stuff like that. So it should be going pretty quick here, guys. So I'll be back again. All right, guys. Slowly getting there. This is actually really easy. I mean, this is just, at least for me, this is a piece of cake. I just put the lower A arm on. All I have to do is bolt it down. That slid right in there. I mounted the 2 top parts of the reinforcement for the bumper. You know, now the front differential is tightened down. so it's snugged in there, and by the bottom down here as well. So so now the drive line's all nice and snug in there. So what I'm doing is just putting these control arms, I guess if that's what you want to call them, these I'm just putting these in and getting them all lined up. I went and snapped the top part of it in so far. I'm just kind of just snugging them a little bit. I snapped this piece, or excuse me, this piece in right here to the steering servo. So now I'm just kind of getting this snugged in just a little bit, so that way I know I have it lined up. And then I'm going to go ahead and tighten up the lower A-arm here, and then I'll tighten up the shock, and I'll go around and start tightening these ones up, and then I'll just go straight to the other side, guys. Piece of cake. And then all I have to do is just put the wheels back on, put the battery in, fire her up, and away we go. That should do it. Like I said, if it doesn't do it, then I know it's the rear differential. That's the only thing left. So, which this one's actually way easier than taking the front one off. So, alright guys, let me finish putting this stuff back together. As you can see here, I'm going to finish putting that all back together, and then I'll work on to the other side there. I just need to tighten this down like I said, and then tighten up the axle here, this tie rod or whatever you want to call it. It's plastic, so you know, just tighten all that stuff up, and then we'll work on the other side, so stay tuned. Alright guys, we're on the last side here. Still got to tighten up the lower A-arms. Right now I'm going to the right side here, and in the US would be passenger side. So I'm going to go and get this in here. That way everything's all lined up again. Alright, let's get this going here. So that way the dog bone won't keep popping out. So that axle, so what we call dog bone, which most people that are into RC cars and trucks know what that is. So for those who don't, it's the axle that is coming over here that has like a dog bone shape on both ends here. Okay, so I got that in there. Hopefully you guys could see that. So got that in there, so that's in there right now. So now I just need to tighten up, line up this lower A-arm, tighten that down, finish tightening down the other side of it, and that should be it. Just have to put the wheels on, put a battery on it, and test it out, guys. So let me finish that up, and hopefully when I turn on the video again, I'll be putting the wheels on and hooking the battery up. So stay tuned, guys. Down to the little nitty gritty. Got the whole front end put back on, tightened up the back end, and put that slipper clutch in there like I was saying earlier. Slipper clutch slash gear. So so the whole front end's done, and that gear. Now if this thing don't run, then we know it's going to be the rear differential, which I don't believe it is, because only the front wasn't running. So okay, everything, I hit my camera, and everything's all hooked up. So now finally, guys, after a month or so later, I get to finally put these guys on. My boy will be happy. Hopefully this thing runs, and he doesn't blow it out again. So I'm going to make sure I got these running that way. Okay, so you always want to make sure the arrows are pointing towards the front. So alright guys, I am going to go and put the lug nuts on, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, hey, everything's back on, so wish me luck. I hope this thing works. I'm going to put the 2S battery in there, plug it in, and just kind of run it on the living room carpet for just a second to see what it does. And if it seems like it's going to run there, then I will take it outside. I'll put the hat cam on, and we'll go from there. So, all right, guys, wish me luck, at least for my boy. And thanks you guys for staying with me on this. Shouldn't have been a project, but ended up being a project. So I hope this thing ends up running for my son. So, all right, guys. Hey, stay tuned. Let's see what happens. Whoa. Yeah, I'd say it's kicking in full drive there. Oh my god. I forgot how fast this thing is. Alright guys, I would say success. I'm going to take it outside. It's all put back together, so let's go take this thing out and see if it runs. So stay tuned. Wish me luck. Turned everything on. I turned on the truck. We got some steering. Okay, let me check the... Alright, it's about... Sorry, I'm just adjusting the trims here. Okay. That's it. Power's full. Let's see, steering's full, I mean. Trim. Alright guys, here we go. ZD truck after rebuild of the front differential and the rear slipper clutch gear. So, and I put a couple pinion gears in there. So, alright, looks like it's running. I'm gonna have to trim this thing a bit here. Alright, it's working, guys. Check that out, man. Not bad. Woo! And just fixing the trim for the steering. Alright, it's a nice clean little jump there. Brakes working good. Alright guys, there we go, man. It wasn't that hard, guys. It only took me but not even an hour to put this thing back together, if that. See, it's all back together and it's working great, guys. So I'm gonna not run it anymore. I'll let my son break it if he breaks it. I'll let him do that again. So alright guys, hey, thanks for watching. And this thing is running and it does work to rebuild it, okay? So don't go and gum up the front differential by Loctiting it or anything like that to make it posy. Just replace the gear. It's only $5, man, and you can see it's running just fine. And this time I'm not jumping it off of big jumps like that and jumping it over my head and stuff like that. You know, I got this for my son, so he's going to be a lot easier on it and take care of it better than I do. So, all right, guys, like always, God bless. Cheers and happy driving.